So you know how a couple months ago I ended up saying that there was a random noise in my room and I have no idea where it's coming from? And if you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, just pretend you do. Well, it went away, but here's the thing, it came back and I still don't know where it is. So I'm just gonna do what I did last time and just ignore it and hope it goes away again and never come back. Because that is a responsible thing to do. Why would you go out and fix your problems when you could just pretend they don't exist? And one way to distract myself is to talk about a terrible social experiment. This is one of my favorite parts about the internet, how suddenly out of nowhere there'll be a brand new content creator who just comes up with the worst idea of all time, but they did it because it was a social experiment, and they're trying to prove a point to the world and call out something terrible about society. And I also like how most of the time, they usually fail extremely badly, and the reputation of that has been ruined so much that most of the time when people hear the word social experiment and content creator, they automatically assume something bad. Well, today I'm here to show you another example of that going completely wrong, because not so long ago, there was a YouTuber name, and I am definitely going to get her name wrong, Kathleen Conster? I have no idea how you say her last name. It is extremely confusing. Her, an extremely popular content creator who uploaded videos that got a lot of views, and she has an extremely big fan base, she ended up being another YouTuber who decided to put her hat aside the ring and made a terrible social experiment of faking to be pregnant to prove how bad parasocial relationships are. Yep, that's what she did. She full on just faked to be pregnant and faked a miscarriage too. Some extremely normal stuff that I'm pretty sure most people can see and not think it's absolutely insane. I'm obviously joking, that is a terrible idea. I have seen YouTubers do a lot of terrible things to get views and attention, but never to see something like this. So let's go and talk about this situation, and it first starts with this video right here that she ended up uploading saying that she was pregnant. Now this video is extremely important and serious for two reasons. One, she has been gone for a pretty long time. Then suddenly out of nowhere she stopped uploading videos for around a year, and a lot of her fan base was wondering why. And it seems like the reason is because, well, she was pregnant. And two, this video is extremely different than anything else she will go and upload on this channel. Most of her videos are lighthearted, and a lot of them are jokes. So for her to suddenly come out of nowhere with this video, which is framed extremely seriously, she's not making any jokes at all, a lot of people in her audience thought that, oh, she's telling the truth. So a lot of people thought this was the reason why she was gone. Well, if you thought that, you were an idiot, because she ended up uploading this video shortly after saying that she lost the baby. Now, when a lot of people see a video like this, they probably assume that she had a miscarriage, something extremely terrible and a traumatizing experience. Well, if you thought that, you were wrong, because if you clicked on the video, this is what you ended up seeing.
Okay, guys, I lost the baby, and I don't know exactly where I put it. It has to be around here somewhere. Okay, so some of you guys are probably wondering...
That's right, people, you just got pranked. The baby wasn't real. This video is just absolutely wild, so let me show you some more clips of it so she can explain why she ended up faking something like this.
Content creator, the line between entertainment and reality is very blurred. Your audience will become very attached to an abstraction of yourself. And the odd thing is that this connection can become very personally meaningful to the viewers, whilst not being personally meaningful to the creator itself. Your attention is monetarily valuable to me. And unless you have some narcissistic tendencies, which a lot of us do, the experience of having a parasocial relationship with your audience can be very uncomfortable.
Now, what she's saying is extremely true. I think this is something that all of us know at this point, that parasocial relationships are something that is keep on getting worse as time goes by, especially since more and more people people are becoming extremely lonely. They're becoming more attached to content creators and just people on the internet that they don't know. And I think all of us know the negative effects about that. I don't need to go and tell you about it. It is terrible. So it makes sense that a content creator, especially one that is her size, want to go and talk about something like this because she probably have to deal with it a lot, with a lot of her fans thinking that, oh, me and her are best friends because I watch a lot of her videos and I support her and I'm extremely worried about her. So it makes sense that you want to go and talk about it, but this is not a good way to do it. But let me show you some more of the video.
Example, when I was 15 and I first started making content, I had a lot of people threaten to rape me every day. And if you could imagine, this was not fun. And the problem with this, beyond the obvious, is that there's no meaningful way to respond to this interaction. The offender has anonymity, and in some way, so do I. So I'm not treating them like a real person. They're not treating me like a real person. You're not real. And I'm not real, and none of this is real. And yet, the effect that we have on each other is still very real.
Now, this is the part when me, and I'm pretty sure everyone who ended up watching this video got extremely confused. Because what she ended up explaining straight up just isn't a parasocial relationship at all. Like, someone being mean to you on the internet is not a good example about that, because if you're someone who just posts anything on the internet, doesn't matter if you're extremely big or small, you're gonna have tons of people saying a bunch of insults about you and just being extremely mean. Like, for a good example, there are tons of people who will comment on my videos saying that I'm autistic as an insult, which, one, that is wild that we're still saying that as an insult, but that's just because they didn't like my video. That doesn't mean they have like a parasocial relationship with me, so I don't understand why this is one example that she decides to use as a parasocial relationship, but who knows? Maybe I'm not letting her speak for herself. She might be cooking. So let's watch a little bit more.
About being pregnant as a joke. And the joke is not that pregnancy under strenuous circumstances is funny. The joke is not that the audience was gullible enough to believe that I was pregnant. The joke is you connected to something that wasn't real. And I have become something that isn't real. We all come here to find this connection over and over again. And we don't really find it until now, when you subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah, that's right, people. The whole point of this video is basically a marketing campaign so you can go subscribe to her Patreon. Now, usually, I'll say something that important at the beginning of this video, but I didn't want to do that. Mainly because for the people who didn't know that, I wanted to just completely surprise them with that news that this is the whole reason why this girl decided to do that. And I'm just going to explain why that is extremely dumb. But before I do that, let me just talk about this whole clip that I ended up showing you, because there's just so much that I need to unpack. One, I love how she ended up saying that one reason why she didn't do this is that she didn't want to make a joke to prove that her audience is gullible enough to basically fall in love with something that doesn't exist. Just for literally the next sentence, that's what she said she did. Like, she just said that in a completely different way. One that sounds a little bit more smarter. The whole point of that video is basically you prove to your audience that, look how extremely weird and stupid you guys are. You fell in love with a baby that doesn't exist, and I became something that's not real. How dare that you think I will actually tell the truth and be pregnant? What are you, dumb? Are you stupid? Clearly shows that you're way too parasocially attached to me. How dare you do something like that? And again, that is not a parasocial relationship. What? So all because you feel happy for someone on the internet, you now have a parasocial relationship on them? So you're telling me that if you're just on the internet scrolling and you see a post of someone that you've never seen before, a random content creator or person that you don't know, and that end up saying something like, oh, I finally beat my battle with cancer and I'm cured, something that you see a lot on the internet, and you feel happy for that person? You're parasocially attached for them? Oh man, you shouldn't feel happy for that person. You don't know them. Oh, a girl's having a baby? Something that is extremely important to millions of people around the world, and you feel happy for them? Parasocial loser. You're not supposed to do that. that you're too gullible. And then I obviously don't need to explain the point on doing this as a marketed campaign for your Patreon. I don't need to explain why that's bad, because we all know why. But let's see what you get when you subscribe to her Patreon though, because she tells you in this video.
This entire stunt has been an advertisement for my Patreon. I'm also announcing that I'm coming back to YouTube. Listen, I wanted to come back to YouTube and explain to everyone why I had been gone and what had happened to me in that time that made me want to come back. But some of you in my audience are pretty weird, and I don't blame any of you. You know, you can't help being weird, but I didn't think that it would be healthy for me to expose myself like that to all of you. And that's why I decided to keep a lot of my more sensitive information behind a paywall, where I would hope some of the audience would be more intentional with how they interact with me, because now it costs money to do so.
Now I'm gonna be honest. That is hands down the most dumbest thing that I ever heard in an extremely long time. So, one of her reasons why she ended up doing this whole stunt is to try to prove a point to show how bad parasocial relationships are. And her way to prevent that, to make it less worse, is to make a Patreon where if you pay money, you can learn more things about her. So her way to stop parasocial relationships is to make them even worse. Because the only people who are actually going to spend money to learn more about you are people who are way too parasocially attached to you. The funny thing about this is that she is unable to realize this. Like, she confidently uploaded this video with a smile on her face, thinking that her audience is gonna receive this extremely well, thinking that she made an extremely amazing point and opened people's eyes because she tricked her extremely gullible audience to believing that she had a baby, just so she can go and get more money from that audience. Honestly, I think I take back what I said with her being extremely dumb. That's the most smartest idea that I ever heard of all time. If something is a problem and you think it's terrible, just do things to make it worse. My eyes has truly been opened from this little social experiment of hers, and now I know that content creators are still some of the most dumbest people on the planet, and I don't think that is ever going to change. Now, she did end up making a whole response video to this situation, but either way, that's it. This is something extremely dumb. This is horrible, and I hope her audience doesn't forgive her for doing this extremely terrible thing, because I think if you're a content creator, you should not be exploiting your audience like this. That is just some garbage material, and people who gladly do stuff like that, in my humble opinion, does not deserve to have an audience and does not deserve success. Anyway, that's it. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. Wow, I can't believe you actually thought the video was going to end. This truly shows how gullible people are, and you are just way too parasocially attached to me. Because I ended up saying my outro, you thought the video was over. How are you this dumb? Either way, I am aware that she ended up making a response video talking about this, but I straight up can't find the video. I have seen other YouTubers talk about it, so I have seen clips of the response video, but I'm not able to see the whole thing. It looks like it's locked behind her Patreon, but I have seen the response video. It is not good. She basically just completely doubles down, which I'm just not surprised at all that a content creator who thought it was a good idea to fake a pregnancy would double down. So what's new? It seems like this girl have absolutely no idea what a parasocial relationship is, which isn't really that surprising. I feel like a lot of people are like it. They just see that so much people are talking about it that they actually think that if you just see something on the internet or you care about a content creator just a little bit, you're automatically parasocially attached to them and you're a loser and something is wrong with you. How dare you enjoy a video that someone uploads? Or if you see someone talking about a sad situation or a happy situation, you care because you have feelings. You're not supposed to have that, you loser. Anyway, that's it. I'm just here to say I've seen the response video and it's really bad.